Our final stop in Denver is at the governor's office, and joining us on Can I Media right now is Stephanie Garnica. Stephanie, perhaps you can tell us your title.
Sure. I'm the Senior International Business Manager for the International Trade Division here at the Governor's Office of Economic Development and International Trade.
Okay, that's why I had you do it.
Smart choice.
Fair enough.
I can barely say it.
Let me ask you, you had a chance to go up to Edmonton recently, and tell us about your visit to Edmonton and our province.
Sure. So Governor Hickenlooper took a trade delegation of about 35 business people, including the Consul General of Canada, who's also located here in this building. We went to the province of Alberta back in March. We were able to visit Edmonton. We went up to Fort McMurray and then down to Calgary in our 2.5 whirlwind visit. But we had a great time in Edmonton. About 3/4 of our delegation had the opportunity to visit with the company Catchcan. The governor had some official provincial meetings and then had some meetings with some other Edmonton-based companies who have offices and investments here in Colorado. And then we were able to come together as a full delegation again in the evening with the American Chamber of Commerce and the City of Edmonton folks and just have a nice networking reception and get to share experiences and stories with a lot of the business community there.
Tell us about the visit to Catchcan. Why would you stop off at that company?
Well, I had been introduced to Catchcan earlier in the year, probably January, February timeframe, and they were interested in opening an office here in Colorado. And so the timing was such that it really enabled us to be able to go in person and follow up with them at their headquarter location in Edmonton, and then bring some of our Colorado companies who were primarily representatives of the oil and gas sector here in Colorado, of a lot of the companies that have some type of a home base here in Colorado and had accompanied us on that mission. And they were curious to see it too and see how they might be able to partner up.
So what did you think of the Catchcan setup?
It was a very impressive visit and just interesting history, how all of the people in the top management levels got involved in the company and where the ideas came from. And they hosted us for a really great and educational event.
How do you see Catchcan fitting in here in Denver?
Well, I believe that the services and products that they have to offer really coincide nicely with the oil and gas base that we have here in Colorado. And because Colorado is a pretty green and clean state, certainly adhering to environmental standards and even taking a step beyond what's required is important. So it seems like Catchcan can play an important role here and get involved both on the public sector with government and trade associations, but also in the private sector with the number of companies that we have here.
Tell us a little bit for our Canadian viewers, a little bit about the oil and gas industry here in Colorado.
Sure. So Colorado does have a basin in the northeastern part of the state that does have a lot of oil shale or shale oil. We have a lot of natural gas here. Also on the mining side, we're a big coal state, but we also have a lot of renewable energy. So it's really a diverse industry, both traditional and non-traditional types of energy and natural resources that the state has. And it's something that is an economic driver here.
You talked about being a green state. What does that mean to you as part of the government?
It really means that a lot of our companies look to be leaders as far as sustainability initiatives, getting employees on board, spreading the word, trying to generate the least amount of waste possible, adhering to water quality standards and air quality standards, and especially with Denver being located with mountains surrounding us on one side, the air quality is really important so that it doesn't get trapped here kind of in the valley where Denver sits. So people are really cognizant of trying to ride bikes and walk and promoting events like that to keep our air quality clean and good.
Sustainability is a catchword in the oil industry these days. What does it mean to you?
To me, I think, again, it just means not only adhering to some of the regulations that government might put into place for companies, but also going a step beyond that. We really saw a lot of that in Canada, which a lot of the companies we met with in Canada also have offices here, where they take a step beyond what's required of them, and they're just looking for ways to beat emissions controls that might be in place that the government has, or improve water, decrease the use of water that they're using in their systems. So I think the same holds here too. There are government standards in place, but just going above and beyond that on a proactive basis and not waiting to be asked, but really looking and getting together with community people and seeing what can be done.
With the conference that we're attending right now on unconventional technologies, one of the things they talk about is the need to get the stories out to let the public know that they are taking steps to protect the environment and worker safety and things like that. How does a company like Catchcan fit in with all of that?
Well, I think the nature of what Catchcan does, it really ties in nicely, and that is their core business, is worker safety and environmental quality. So they, I think, will be a really nice fit here to offset maybe the negative image that some people have about the oil and gas industry in general.
Where do you see it going from here in Colorado?
Well, with the strong leadership that we have in place, both from the private sector and then some of the trade associations that we have in place, and then the government officials, it really seems like people work together. So there's not a segregation of the private sector doing this, whereas the government's doing this, but everyone really seems to get together on a regular basis and collaborate and communicate. And so it seems like everyone's on the same page, and from there, things are just improving and maybe moving a little bit quicker than they do in other places.
So thank you very much, Stephanie.
Sure.
We've been chatting with Stephanie Garnica from the governor's office here in Denver, Colorado.